Good morning, everybody. Okay, it's Thursday, and we're continuing with Beverly Cleary's Beezus and Ramona. We stopped on a few pages, I guess, before chapter 8. So we are still on chapter 7. It's going to get titled. That's titled Alone in the Dark. All right. So where we ended was on page 134 when she can't fall asleep in her room, right? She wondered how much of the 6 months was left before she could return to her old room. She lay as flat and as still as a paper doll while she listened to her father splashing in the shower. Ramona had to think about her eyelids to force them to stay open. Her father got into bed. Her parents were whispering, probably talking about her, saying, "What are we going to do about Ramona? Always getting into trouble." Even her teacher doesn't like her. Everyone was asleep but Ramona, whose eyelids grew heavier and heavier and heavier. She was afraid of the dark, but she would not give up the new room. Only babies were afraid to sleep alone. The next morning, as Ramona took her sandwiches out of the refrigerator and put them in her lunchbox, Mrs. Quimby asked, "Does your throat feel all right?" "Yes," answered Ramona crossly. "Sore throats are going around," said Mrs. Quimby. Since she had gone to work in the pediatrician's office, she looked for symptoms in her daughters. Last week, it had been chicken pox spots, and the week before, swollen glands. "Mama, I had a bad dream last night." "What did you dream?" "Something was chasing me, and I couldn't run." The dream was still vivid in Ramona's mind. She had been standing at the corner of the house where the zinnias used to be. She knew something terrible was about to come around the corner of the house to get her. She stood as if frozen, unable to lift her feet from the grass. She had been terrified in her dream, and yet the yard had looked clear and bright. The grass was green, the zinnias blooming in the shade of pink and orange and scarlet. So real, Ramona felt she could have touched them. Beezus was rinsing her cereal bowl under the kitchen faucet. "Ugh, that old dream," she remarked. "I've had it several times. It's awful." "You did not," Ramona was indignant. Her dream was her own, not something passed down from Beezus like an old dress or old rain boots. "You're just saying that." I did have it." Beezus shrugged off the dream as of little importance. "Everybody has that dream." "Ramona, are you sure you feel all right?" asked Mrs. Quimby. "You seem a little cranky this morning." Ramona scowled. "I am not cranky." "Another dream I don't like," said Beezus, "is the one where I'm standing in my underwear in the hall at school and everybody is staring at me. That is just about the worst dream there is." This, too, was a familiar dream to Ramona. Not that she was going to admit it. Beezus needn't think she dreamt all the dreams first. Mrs. Quimby looked at Ramona scowling by the refrigerator with her lunchbox in her hand. She laid her hand on Ramona's head to see if she was feverish. Ramona jerked away. "I'm not sick. I'm not cranky," she told her mother, and flounced out the door on her way to another day in room 1. When Ramona reached Glenwood School, she trudged into the school building where she sat huddled at the foot of the staircase that led to the upper grades. She wondered what it would be like to spend her days in one of the upstairs classrooms. Anything would be better than the first grade. "What if I don't go into room 1?" she thought. "What if I hide in the girls' bathroom until school is out?" Before she found the answer to her question, Mr. Cardoza came striding down the hall on his way to the stairs. He stopped directly in front of Ramona. Mr. Cardoza was a tall, thin man with dark hair and eyes, and he made Ramona, sitting there on the bottom of the steps, feel very small. Mr. Cardoza frowned and pulled down the corners of his mouth in a way that made Ramona understand that he was poking fun at the expression on her face. Suddenly he smiled and pointed at her as if he made an exciting discovery. Startled, Ramona drew back. "I know who you are," Mr. Cardoza spoke, as if identifying Ramona was the most interesting thing that could have happened. "You do?" Ramona forgot to scowl. "You are Ramona Quimby. also known as Ramona Q. Ramona was astonished. She had expected him to tell her, if he knew who she was at all, that she was Beatrice's little sister. How do you know? She asked. Oh, I get around, he said, whistling softly through his teeth, starting up the stairs. Ramona watched him take the steps 2 at a time with his long legs and suddenly felt more cheerful enough to face room 1 once more. A teacher from the upper grades knew the name of a little first grader. Maybe someday Mr. Cardoza would be her teacher too. Chapter 8 is called Ramona Says a Bad Word. I'll save that on page 141 for tomorrow. Okay. Chapter 8, Ramona Says a Bad Word. So I don't want to know if you think you know the bad word. I want to know, what do you think her teacher's reaction will be if she in fact does say a bad word? Will it be at school? Will it be at home? So who will she say it to? Where will she say it? And what do you think people's reaction will be? This is starting on page 141. And I believe there's 9 chapters. So this is chapter 8. And this is chapter 8. Oh, and there is chapter 9. So what do you think chapter 8? Tell me more about what you think Ramona Says a Bad Word will be about. All right, you guys, listen, have a great Thursday. It's supposed to be a little rainy tomorrow, so try to get your work done early so that you can get outside and play and get some fresh air today. Okay? I miss you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.